We left off on page 22, beginning of the fourth chapter. Okay, Perek Daled, Derech Kniyas Hazirus, acquiring vigilance. Hine Masha Mevi Sa'odam al Derech Klal el Hazirus. He says, generally speaking, how does one come upon the characteristic of vigilance? Ulimer Torah. You have to study Torah. Umasha Omar Repinchis Betchilas Abraisa. Repinchis Ben Yor says, Torah mevil l'dezirus. The study of Torah brings to vigilance. Firstly, it's interesting. Is it because Ein Amor It's Chosid? You can't be vigilant if you're totally ignorant that you have an obligation. The person doesn't realize he's doing the wrong thing. It's understood. That's not Repinchis Ben Yor is saying. Torah mevil l'dezirus. Torah brings to vigilance. I mean, Torah brings knowledge. So of course, without being knowing what's right, what's wrong, it means first Torah means the study of Torah. The actual process of study of Torah gives you a sense of right and wrong, and therefore you have a capacity to actually dictate your own life. That your inclination is not going to draw you away from being focused on what you have to be focused on. That's Torah mevil l'dezirus. Omnam al derech prat hamevi lezeh hu has bonus al chomer avoda. He says, however, what brings to vigilance his bonus al chomer avoda, reflecting on the gravity of divine service. Asher chai v'odom, that a person is obligated. V'omek adin oleo, and the depth of the din. He says the exactness means the dimension of culpability if you should violate it. And how is this derived? By studying in depth the incidents which are recorded in the Holy Scriptures, and studying the statements of the Chachamim, Zichronim Livrocha, Hamaorim Alzeh, which actually arouse one in regard to this area. Chofetz Chaim many times he doesn't cite the name of the Shorim, but that's what he says. He says, especially today, he's speaking to the people in Europe where certain things have been translated to Yiddish. He says the Chovos Levavos has been translated to Yiddish, and the Menorah Hamor, which also that you're able to study the law of the Torah Mitzvos. Originally, Hebrew people didn't understand, but today everything's been translated to Yiddish. You study it; it'll sensitize you to understand many things that you wouldn't have understood. But the key is by studying the incidents bi'iyun in depth and studying the Maimori Chazal, Hamaorim Alzeh. It awakens one regard. V'hinei his bonus hazeh ha'oros ba'adrogo. He's, however, regarding the reflection in this area, then you awaken at many levels. L'shlemi hadas l'bchus man. You know, you have a person who's in a deep slumber. What does it take to wake him up? You really have to shake him. A person who's just slightly dozing, the slightest touch, he's awakened. It's a person who's really not that far from being sensitive. He has to be just touched to really get it to be focused. But somebody who has no idea, he's totally out of touch, he's into himself, into the material of life. He really needs a redoing, a remaking to get him to understand, to begin appreciating what right and what wrong is. It's not enough to know, I know it's right, I know it's wrong. It's not enough. I'll give you an example. A person comes every day, studies, does the right thing on a regular basis. Goes away now for a month on vacation. Comes back. Although he values it no less, it's not the same. You've been out of the loop for a month. And when you're on vacation, you're not doing what you do every day. There's a certain sense of value and feeling is not there. It may take you a number of days to get back into it. to have that sense. That's exactly what we're saying. So we're not speaking, the person doesn't understand what it is. He understands, but because he hasn't been reflecting, there's been a hiatus in the reflection, there's been this lapse, and actually you revert back to who you are as a human being, as a person, which you're a material being for that reason.
But that is true about missing work for a month when you come back.
Same thing, same thing. You know, out of sight, out of mind. That's what it is. You're affected by what you see, what you're involved in. You're not there. Your conditioning is actually weakened. The body, you know, you exercise day in, day out, the body naturally responds to certain things. Otherwise, it doesn't. To be continued.